10 storylines, and it's getting written down by Nick Eat-em-out-Eatman, our number one guy at DallasCowboys.com.
Lions off to a 3-1 start. The Lions made it to the NFC Championship game last year for the first time since 1991, but despite disappointing second half collapse in that game and a missed trip to the first ever Super Bowl, there has been no hangover in 2024. The Lions are 3-1 and are coming off a bye week, giving them 2 weeks to prepare for the anticipated battle with them Cowboys.
Is it bad that after we kind of read through their scores, I'm not at, like, they've only scored over 20 points one time.
I know.
That made it feel a little less.
Back a little? Like, not to say that the Lions that's why I say the Lions offense has a high potential. Laporta's been off to a slower start than what I know that he can get.
Same with Amon-Ra.
Same with Amon-Ra.
And Goff, you saw him. He was the only yellow, dehydrated, not fucking drinking water guy on their team.
Sure, they had 2 weeks, but it's literally a different Cowboys team that they are going to be seeing because of the injury. So
fuck your bye. Still bitter from last year, Lions head coach Dan Campbell, a former Cowboys tight end, said he still has the controlled fury inside him that stems from last year's controversial loss to the Cowboys back in December.
No controversy.
The guy didn't fucking tell the offense to.
You tried to get cute.
The Lions lost 2019, but had a 2-point conversion called back for an illegal procedure penalty due to a player failing to properly report to the officials. The Cowboys ultimately won the game, but the Lions finished as the number 3 seed in the playoffs, and still went to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 32 years. Again, back to that game last year. They had 3 chances on the 2-point conversion.
Yes.
And didn't get it. They had 3 chances.
One
over it.
They got a penalty on.
They got a penalty on this alone. Dan Campbell thinking of that game still and still being fired up from it. Ball's in our court, baby.
Yeah, ball's in our court because I think us coming off of a moral win, a tough roadie win from last week is a better momentum coming into this game than seated anger from last year, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and look, let him be better. Let him make decisions made out of aggression and emotional decisions. And you know Mike McCarthy has no emotion except for if he's in that Whataburger line and you put a tomato on his burger. He will get emotional.
Mike will kill you.
It's not just a hamburger, it's a
Whataburger! Lions, 1-2 rushing attack. Do you think the Lions might run the ball this week? The Cowboys have showed an improved run defense the last 2 games, but still ranked 24th in the NFL, allowing the NFL with 2 running backs in the top 20 in rushing. In Jamar Gibbs, 285 yards, and David Montgomery, 271 yards.
Hey, they're doing it, man. The Lions rushing attacks, no joke, and they do have a 1-2 punch. And with 150 yards per game and the Cowboys allowing 135 yards a game, it's saying...
Bad recipe.
Yeah, it's saying that they got a chance to do what they do.
But, like I said, I don't think that those numbers are true for the defense that we've seen the last 2 weeks. The Lions definitely have one of the more scary rushing attacks as well as just offenses in the NFL. But that 135, I think, let's cut it down a little. And hey, if the Lions rush for only 140 yards, I'd be pretty happy.
Less than their average.
Off the charts.
Hey, look what they did there. You see what they did there?
The Lions.
Eat me out,
you son of a bitch.
You sly dog.
The Lions Q had a memorable game in his last outing, throwing what has been dubbed a perfect game.
16. Hold the phone here. It was 16 passes. I'm not getting mad at you, Ad, but a perfect game. It wasn't even 20 completions.
It was 692 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he even caught a touchdown pass from his teammate Amon-Ra St. Brown on a trick play.
That's more impressive than the 16 for 16 in my mind.
Jared, eat me out, Goff.
G me off, Goff.
Jared, wish version Ryan Gosling is the only player in NFL history to throw multiple touchdowns, have a perfect completion percentage, and also catch a TD in the same game while looking like a made-for-TV movie Hallmark quarterback.
Well, Hutchinson, even though the Lions are one of the few teams that have had their bye week, Aiden Hutchinson is still the NFL leader in sacks with 6.5 this season. He's only played 4 games. A lot of the NFL's played 5. The number 2 overall pick in 2022 had a monster game against the Bucs back in week 2, recording 4.5 sacks. But so he had 4.5 sacks against the Bucs.
So
in the other
feels
3
inflated.
games,
Yeah, feels inflated.
His other 3 games, he's had 2.
But that's the thing about Hutchinson is
He's a feast of famine.
That's what I meant. Like if he finds a way to beat someone, he will do it consistently.
Put Lupin Lepke on him.
So you have to have a spoil of riches on the O-line, or bring in Zeke more and
chip him.
And chip him. Like you got to do whatever you can to lock it down. Lock down protection on Hutchinson.
Lock it down.
On
For
Hutchinson.
Oh my goodness.
Eat me out.
Eat me out is saucy today.
You sauced me up. You sauced me up with this one.
For sure, this is what Eat Me Out was like when he was coming to this storyline. Oh, I got one right here.
He's licking his fingers even though he's typing.
Yeah.
Bland.
Here it is. And this is the line. Getting the Bland back together.
Oh.
Hey, come in here.
Nailed it.
Look at this headline. For the first time this season, quarterback Deron Bland could have a shot to play at least some limited slack. Bland has missed the first 5 games due to a stress fracture. He's one of the several key players that have missed time for the Cowboys this year. Despite the injuries, the Cowboys have managed to win 2 straight games on the road to get to 3-2. Oddly enough, the Cowboys are 3-0 on the road and 0-2 at home, where they face the Lions coming to town on Sunday. It's unlikely they will get Parsons' ankle back for this game, but it's still early in the week. Probably not Parsons. I'm even doubting Bland, but if he does show up, throw him in the mix.
Full participation on Wednesday, though.
He fucking
that's what I mean. Like,
and I think this was written before that happened.
look, he's coming off my IR list in fantasy. I'm gonna dress him. The Knights are gonna dress him in our one league.
That's like the kiss of death if the Knights are dressing him.
Should I keep him off the bench then?
No, you got to put him.
I got to put him in.
yeah. This is my test. I'm going into the shower when Bland's showering. I'm grabbing his stress fracture and I'm just giving it a shake, kind of shaking it around.
Like, hey, you passed.
You fast.
Finding RB1 question mark.
Ribby.
Oh, Ribby 1. It looks like the Cowboys might have settled
Is that a new Star Wars?
Ribby?
Finding
RB1. Finding RB1. It could be. But it does look like the Cowboys might have settled the running back position for now in the form of Rico Dowdle. He had a carry high. He had a carry high. He had a career high 87 rushing yards and added a touchdown catch for the second straight game. The Cowboys still have Ezekiel Elliott as the backup, but last week, Deuce Vaughn was inactive and Dalvin Cooks remains on the practice squad. Fullback H-Train Hunter Lupin Lepke continues to have a bigger role in the offense as well.
I want to see Lepke keep getting more catches, man. I really do.
Make me regret not ordering that Lepke jersey.
You mean giving it away?
You
don't say ordering. You had a.
I did.
You gave it away at AT&T last Thanksgiving,
and it was our first round selection for the giveaway as well.
It was the first pick.
So
you know what? That was for the people. We did that for the people.
And I still have to pay my debt at some point.
Oh
yeah, red ass.
Yeah, red ass at some point.
We're getting you in San Francisco.
Okay, fair enough.
Ooh, in the San Fran Sun.
Yeah, San Francisco.
All I have to say is, the Deuce Vaughn project's over. Let's move on from it, please.
Yep.
Bring in Cooks, but don't prioritize them. Just have
give him a couple carries a game and see if he has
see what happens. Prioritize Rico Dowdle and absolutely agree.
I want 80% of the touches going to Rico. So we talked about this earlier, but we got shuffling the O-line. The Cowboys lost starting left tackle Tyler Guyton in the middle of the game Sunday in Pittsburgh to a knee injury, which he did walk off on his own. It forced them to move Tyler Smith from guard to tackle and replaced by TJ Bass. The offense actually moved the ball a lot better as the game went on with that scenario. While it appears Guyton has a shot to return to action this week, the Cowboys might be inclined to keep Smith at left tackle and use Bass inside. Guyton has struggled at times in this year, as we've seen by his PFF, leading the team with 9 penalties called. 9 penalties in 5 games. That's a 1.8 a game.
Still very unfair because you're putting your first round guy against a lot of veteran
that is true.
who are going to.
But that's what who are
going to be. And we wanted him to get battle tested, and we've seen what he's produced. But I mean, so actually moving him over to the right tackle position and putting him up against Aiden Hutchinson is we've already went against all these other dudes. Man up, Guyton.
Yeah, you little punk.
Honestly, if he it depends when those penalties are. If they're on 1st and 20, which or whatever, that sucks. But it's better than a 3rd and 1. We make the first down and then you get called. And I also I wonder if Nick Eatmeout Eatman has the name for TJ Bass, TJ eat my bass. Every week, the Cowboys seem to get some kind of bad news regarding the defensive end position. This week, after losing both Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence to injuries, the Cowboys see rookie Marshawn Nealand go down early with a knee injury. And also don't forget about Sammy Dobbs. He is expected to miss significant time, perhaps as much as 6 weeks. The Cowboys continue to get hit by injuries here, but manage to generate some pressure in Pittsburgh using the likes of Carl Larson, Chauncey Golston, and Tyrus Wheaton. Chauncey, God love that dude. He's been on the team since since CanFan started rolling. Since the train started rolling. He doesn't get the love that he needs, but he plays.
The defensive line was probably the most surprising thing, which we didn't talk about a crazy amount on our hangover. We talked about a little bit how the defensive run game looked decent, but just the defensive line as a whole with the injuries they've had, they've looked pretty decent.
I mean, Tyrus Wheat, like, where did he come from? I thought he held his own, and then Golston came in there, and he was a bit of a dog on a couple plays, which you like to see.
Tyrus Wheat was kind of like the Uruk-hai in Lord of the Rings. They dug him up. Outside of AT&T, they dug him up.
Tyrus Wheat has came on the team last season.
Yep.
And he's only been a Dallas Cowboys, so...
He's kind of just he has kind of been there, and again, is it one of those situations where he just hasn't had that opportunity, that chance?
He will be known as Uruk-hai from now on.
Uruk-hai? Receiving end, the Cowboys might have found their number 2 receiver, at least for now, with Brandon Cooks, in brackets, knee on IR. But Jalen Tolbert, or as we've come to know him, JT, had the game of his life against the Steelers, catching the game-winning touchdown.
How did you come up with that nickname?
Yeah, where'd that nickname?
Well, how did
no one calls him Tolby.
No, but JT, how did they come up with that?
I don't know, dude. Maybe he likes to listen to a lot of Justin Timberlake.
I bet.
So he caught the game-winning touchdown in the final seconds to go along with his career highs with 7 catches for 87 yards, which I will say, in the middle of this, when you look at the sounds of the sideline and CD comes up to congratulate him on him, there almost looked like there was a little bit of
he's like, don't fucking touch me.
Yeah, there was a little disappointment in CeeDee Lamb's face, I felt. But anyways, maybe I'm trying to create some sort of controversy. The Cowboys also got some downfield play from Kevontae Turpin, who also asked to use his speed, who will be asked to use his speed to replace Cooks. Another issue at receiver is the second half disappearance of CeeDee Lamb this year.
Talked about it.
Yep. He has 4 catches for 25 yards combined in the second half.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's an underlying.
Hey,
4 catches.
CanFan didn't have the stats, but we knew.
We knew it. We eyeball
it.
tested. But
Eyeball test
I'll
for
just
sure.
just for our audio listeners
That's
who are visually
crazy,
listening to this, he has 4 catches for 25 yards combined in the second half of 5 games this year.
That's crazy.